Welcome back in, guys. Trey Lowell here with Lowell Productions. Today's video, we're going to be centering in on a unique YouTube setup, coming in on what I would consider a budget, coming up next. So for today's video, we are going to be discussing this particular YouTube setup that I have or am currently filming on. Now, a lot of you guys, I do understand, don't have big budgets, so let's go ahead and simplify this particular setup. Now, off to my right and y'all's left, I have my particular key light. Now, I do understand not everyone's going to have the same key light, but it's going to serve the same purpose, and that is lighting myself. Now with the BTS camera over here, you guys can see I do have a big diffuser, and I have my Jinray LED light flashing right through there. Now the point of this particular light is just to light me and make me kind of pop from the background. You want to make sure that you are always more lit than your background, or it's going to be a little distracting for the viewer. Now that we have the key light set up, let's go ahead and discuss the eye grabber of this particular shot. And that's going to be these two LED panels behind me. Or I shouldn't say panels, I should say strips. Now coming in at roughly $60 for 6 of them, this what I would consider super cheap option is something that I think many of you guys could probably consider for your setup. Now with that BTS camera, you guys can see we definitely have these lights on some light stands with clamps at the top, that way to hold them in place. Each of them are going to have individual power, but they can be daisy chained with this particular setup. Now the reason that I use this setup is I really think it just grabs your attention right off the bat. Another thing that you want to kind of figure out in regards to this setup is how many of these lights are we going to use. Now I started with 3, which I didn't really think looked that well, mainly because it positioned one of the lights through me, which I would highly recommend for many of you guys out there. Take in consideration how you're placing your lights. If you only had one, maybe it needs to go over the right shoulder or the left shoulder, but make sure to avoid it being right behind you. So that's why we have these two positioned, both one to the left and the right. Another thing you want to take in consideration is spacing. We want to get them as evenly spaced as possible, mainly so it's just not distracting to the user, and overall kind of your lines are nice and tight. With the $60 option, we have AC power going to both on little like switchers, on and off. And yeah, I've positioned them there. Key light here, shooting with the Panasonic GH5 at ISO 100. I will say with this particular type of background, you're going to have to shoot at lower ISOs, and that key light is going to have to be pretty bright. Many of you guys out there, if you're kind of in a situation where you don't have a super bright key, you might need to get a dimmer for these lights. And side note, I actually have one in the mail, and really what that's going to do is I am going to have all my lights going into that dimmer. That way I can kind of bring them down a notch so I don't have to have that key so nice and bright. If you're watching that BTS camera, other things that you're probably seeing is that we do have the LED panel up here casting with a gel some blue light. And really, this is just lightly there to make that background pop a little bit more. It's not going to be overpowering. We want it to not be distracting. We're going to have the LEDs, the gel behind me, key light, nice audio, nice camera, good lighting, and you're set to go. Now, I know that this video was not that long, but I hope you guys got a little bit of an understanding of how you can set up a YouTube setup in what I would consider this room all around is about 10 feet wide, and I'm sitting here with the Micro Four Third camera, so there's not a lot of wiggle room in regards to how wide we can go. But this is what I was able to replicate with roughly 4 lights in a few hours. What do you guys think? Drop a comment in the comment section below. If you want me to go more in depth in regards to how I assembled this, drop another comment in the comment section below. And as always, hey guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Woo! That was way shorter than the last one. All right, so really, if you are interested in how this is all set up, I'm just gonna drop a time lapse right now. how's that audio? Oh, autofocus. We're using autofocus. Panasonic GH5, Lumix 25mm f1.7. I know everyone's a hater. But I think it works all right. You just have to be lit well.